Barry, just to give you a heads up, you can hear me, yes? You can hear me? Yep, perfect. While we're getting your volume working, hopefully. Just to give you a little bit of a scene, you are coming live into a room on a golf course in Perth, Western Australia. You've got agents from a variety of brands, models, and they're all looking to enhance their business. And we're just looking forward to you sharing about what's happening, along with Glenn Sanford, what's happening in the real estate space. Glenn, can you hear us? We're just trying to get our computer audio. We can see you, we can see your movements, and we're just trying to get audio because we can't hear you just at the moment. So just stand by. Can you see us in the room? Just give us a thumbs up if you can see us in the room. Yep, we've got people getting their coffees. They're ready to. Beautiful, thanks, Glenn. Soon as we can hear your audio.
Hang on, I gotta get rid of that.
That's all right, just talk amongst yourselves for a second. Now, I want to just let you know that I'm a man of my word. Do you remember when we were here in this room not more than an hour and a bit ago when I promised you there would be tech difficulties? No. I'm a man of my word. I promise you there will be tech difficulties.
Just getting to talk, Rob.
Just to give us a little testing talk, Barry. Test, test, test.
I'm testing my end. Can you hear me any better now?
Beautiful. We've got you, Barry. Glenn, what about you?
Okay. Then you
Beautiful.
probably hear me.
Yes, we certainly can. I just want to, as I was saying before, I'm not sure if you could hear it, we're in a room, we've got about 50 or 60 agents that are dynamic and much better looking in person than on screen. And they are rock stars in their communities. And we're just turning to you to get a little bit about your real estate experience. Most of the people have no idea who you are, where you're from, all that kind of stuff. So just tell us a little bit about your background, how you got into real estate, and then we'll get you to give us an insight of what's happening on a global level and what things you see are coming down the pipe. So we might start with Glenn Sanford. Glenn, tell us about your real estate journey. These people have no idea who you are.
Yeah, so thanks, Rob. And so my name's Glenn Sanford. I am the founder of eXp Realty. We are a global residential real estate brokerage operating in, as of today, 25 countries. So we're just opening up Peru today. So if you want the socials and a lot of stuff going on with Peru today. But we've been the fastest growing real estate agency in the history of real estate, the largest by agent count, transaction count, and so I started as an agent though 23 years ago as an agent. So I came out of technology, I came out of sales, I built some online businesses, crashed and burned those, got into real estate while I was looking for my next project, and it just turned out that real estate ended up being that project for me for 23 years. I was an active agent for about, I guess 7 years, and then probably a little longer than that, but I started eXp Realty in 2009, and that was really to answer a few needs that I had at the time. One was how do you scale a brokerage in a really bad market. The technical term that we used back in 2009 was a market that sucked. And so...
We're in Western Australia, we have the same market.
What's that?
I said we have the same market all the way 15,000 kilometers away, we have the same market.
There you go, yeah. So I had 4 offices, closed down 3 of them, went to a skeleton crew on the 4th, and said, what does the future real estate brokers look like? And so we jumped in to building what we thought was the new model. We didn't know if it was going to work, but it's the cloud-based brokerage model that's A lot of people around the world, I know Australia, maybe not, it's not a common household name, but in the US, we are a household name in Canada, the UK, and a number of places around the world. EXP is becoming synonymous with agent-centric real estate brokerage, where we're building brokerage to serve the agent in their desire to serve their clients, and then also to build something of a retirement financial strategy beyond just selling real estate.
Cool. Thank you, Glenn. Can we just pause for a second and bring in Barry? Barry, just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background. How in the world did you get into the real estate space? Was it always a childhood dream from when you were building Lego houses, or what happened? And where are you coming from today? Where are you zooming in from?
Built Lego houses very well now. No, I'm an Englishman in Davidson, North Carolina, which is the eastern side of the US. 40-year-old who moved here in 2010, was never an estate agent in England, never had dreams of getting into real estate. Yet that's where we are. And I got my license in 2015, really got going in 2016, and things went on a skyrocket in 2018 when I joined this little known company back then called EXP. I got into real estate, fell into it like many people do. My wife and I were buying our house at the time, working with an agent, had a terrible experience, which I hear is not uncommon all over the world. And our agent was providing us good representation from the buyer side. I have always been curious, was loosely in property and the property management side and a different side of the industry. Had conversations with her, got my license, and the rest is very much history from there.
Very good, very good. Gentlemen, I'd love you to talk to us a little bit, because I know both of you get to travel a lot around the world, and for most of us as real estate agents here in Perth, we are really focused on where's the next listing come, how we're going to get that sold, how's the commission going to flow, that kind of stuff. We're very transactionally oriented, that kind of thing. But what we're curious about is, what are the trends you're seeing in the real estate space globally? Maybe it's financing, maybe it's methods of sale, maybe it's technology being used to sell properties. Talk to us a little bit about where you're seeing AI, those kind of things integrate with real estate agents, and not just in the US, but globally, and where's the future headed? And Glenn, we might start with you.
Yeah, so earlier today, actually, if any of you follow me on LinkedIn, I posted a post today because I finally saw something and tried something this last weekend that ultimately changes the game for every single real estate professional around the world. I haven't seen it mentioned by anyone in the real estate industry yet, so you're the first group to hear this as far as I know. And I'll just ask, and maybe there's somebody in the room that will raise their hand and say they're already doing this. But first and foremost, maybe I can get just a show of hands in the room. How many have incorporated ChatGPT into your business, throughout the day? Is there? So I see a few hands showing.
Yeah, we're probably about 55% of the room.
So one of the things that I think all of us have heard is this the basic concept that in the future, AIs can basically be able to build anything that we want to build for our businesses. We'll no longer be stuck with the tools that we have to pay monthly subscriptions for that don't have much in the way of flexibility. And I ran into a platform. Some of you have heard of platforms like Cursor. How many of you have heard of Cursor? Just a show of hands. Anybody? Okay, so what I'm going to show you then is going to be even one step further. Nobody's seen that. I'm about to show you something that's really crazy cool. Anybody here, has anybody here heard of the platform called Lovable? Lovable. Anybody?
We're not seeing any hands, Glenn.
Not seeing any hands. Okay, so I'm going to just show you something here. I think I can share my screen, but if I can't, then we will.
We're just making sure. Yep, you're good to go.
Yep. So I'm going to go to my screen. documents exist.
While Glenn's doing that, Glenn's been to Perth. Glenn spent several days in Perth about 5 years ago. So he's very familiar with touring around the Hillaries area, driving up and down the coast. He spent a lot of time in Australia. So he knows what we're talking about here in beautiful sunny, it's a beautiful sunny day here.
Oh, well, that's awesome. So I'm about to show, so this platform called Lovable is something that each one of you should go and check out, once we're done. At the end of today, this week, this weekend. But Lovable will basically take any idea that you have and turn it into a full-blown web app. And so about 2 hours before the meeting, I messaged Emily and said, hey, Emily, come on in, I want to show you something. And using just a prompt, and I'll show you the prompt here in a sec, and the prompt was, let's see, where is it? It is, weird, go to the top here, is I'm an eXp Australia estate agent in Perth, and I want to build a community-based website that also educates sellers and prompts them to ask for appraisals, and also the need for materials on the site to educate about the sale process and display local Perth listings that I have as an agent. This would be a client portal attached to track marketing and feedback on listings and anything else you think would be helpful for agents and sellers, and by extension, buyer relationships. And this is the website that it launched. Now, I changed the background image. I went into DALL-E and had it create this image, but it gave me this navigation. It gave me a listing page. It gave me a Perth community page. And so you can click through to these different community-based pages and learn about, Scarsborough. It'll give you Walk Score. It will show you some other information about some of the other features of the area. It tell you some of the schools, public transport, cycling, road access. It basically built me a full-blown website from a prompt. I went and did a couple more prompts, which was I wanted to create an image for the background, which I uploaded. I said build out details for each page for the communities, including walk scores and local highlights. And then it did I don't know what is the case. And then I asked it to do what did I do for the Fremantle card, and do something for that. And for about I think I typed in 6 or 7 prompts, and it built me an entire site, including the selling process. There's buttons to learn about selling. There's a client portal that you can that's basically being built to keep track of inspection feedback, document storage, request. So basically, what I'm showing you is something that up until this weekend I didn't even know existed, and I think this is only about 3 months old as a platform, 3 or 4 months old. And it literally is what we've been talking about for the last 2 years, that you're going to literally be able to build an entire website fully functional with just a prompt, just like you talked to ChatGPT. So I'm going to just stop there, but I just want you guys to just take a look, or just think about the fact that you are really in the marketing business first, and then you're in the sales business. And the challenge for most of us is we're not professional marketers. We're not graphic designers. We're not website coders. We're not any of that stuff. And so we have to keep on outsourcing that to other people. And we have to spend a lot of money to do that. And now you don't have to do that. Now you still might want to bring in your teenage kid to help you with some of the prompting, maybe hooking up a database. But the amount of work that it takes now, and it will just get better and better in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months to build out an entire marketing suite that you would normally have to pay thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars or maybe even $100,000, you can do in a weekend with about $100 of AI credits on a platform like Lovable. So in my opinion, I just wanted to share that because the world's changing really, really fast. And one of the things that we pride ourselves at EXP is we want to give our agents advantages that our competitors haven't even heard about yet, and get them sort of oriented toward the future so they can go out there and win more listings, help their clients sell properties faster, help buyers find their properties faster. And for me, AI changes everything. And I play with lots of AI tools, but this is the one that got my attention in the last, 4 or 5 days.
That's fantastic, Glenn. Thank you so much for sharing that. Did anyone pick anything up there? I'm just asking the people here in the room, did anyone pick anything up? I think they got a big case of the overwhelms just at the moment, but that's okay. Barry, what about you? Where are you seeing real estate go from market, from things happening in the market? Because you've got connections within the UK and the US and Canada, etc. What's happening in the selling of properties?
Well, I think it's a perfect segue from what Glenn was saying, actually, because exactly what he was saying at the end is the importance of marketing. And traditionally, we are not professional marketers, but those who do not market themselves do not get the business. So with all of the technology coming in and the ability for AI to do things that we're just not going to do, otherwise we would have already done it, we have to, as agents on the ground level in our local town, in our local suburbs, in our local community, leverage ourselves and create our personal brand within the community to get to that level. So I use 3 really high-level tools, 2 specifically for marketing, 1 in particular to every property that I list and used to list. The 2 in particular, well, Glenn made it an interactive question, so I'm hoping every hand will go up. I know we understand the value, the importance of personal branding video. Just for my curiosity, hand in the air, who is actually leveraging themselves in front of the camera on video to build their brand in real estate and property?
Put your hands up, guys. Now, what you don't know, Barry, is that just a few minutes ago, we had them do an exercise where they all held their phones up, created an introductory video to kind of get the, that's the one, yeah. And so they actually are all world class now at doing those on camera in front of the phone kind of stuff. So carry on from there.
Beautiful. I'll take my notebook and take notes from you guys. Thank you. So 2 tools in particular. One is very much AI specific. The other leverages it. So from an AI, I'm going to go for one that leverages. So with that video that you created, and there will come a point where you'll use some lighting, you'll have a wireless microphone and the things that just add on top of it. But back in the day, Adobe used to be the top of the line when it comes to video editing. There are so many AI powerful video editing tools out there now. One that I personally use, and many of our agents all over the world do, is CapCut, C-A-P-C-U-T. Inexpensive, but gives you the opportunity to leverage yourself on video, the most important part of a personal brand building a business, in my opinion, on a granular level. But the tools within that, and I will happily create a tutorial for this and the other tech software I'm going to say in a moment, which I can share with you guys retrospectively. But it's just a great way to, you've got yourself on video, and now this gives you the opportunity to top and tail it, make some tweaks, make some changes. But even from there, if you don't want to use that one, there's something called video.ai. I believe it's changed its name, it's now QUSO.ai. But either way, that video, when you likely waste time on social media, you look through reels, you look through stories, and everybody's on there and they have all of their subtitles on there. Any video, though, ideally 5 minutes and up, but it works for any video. You can put in there vertical, horizontal, and it gives you the opportunity to have those words, to add music, to add AI, all of this in there. So that very simple video, that thank you so much for explaining what you created, using one of these 2 platforms will automatically make it look professional and without taking a ton of time to learn it as well. The hard part is pressing record and putting yourself on video because we're all uncomfortable. But those are 2 platforms that I use basically daily to record my team meetings and how I built my personal brand here in little old Davidson, North Carolina. So it's video.ai and the CapCut software are two absolutely huge ones, which are going to benefit you massively in your local community to get more business.
Very good, very good. And I think some of what we're trying to do at this particular conference is give people not only the tools to use, but help them have an open mind to what's possible. Because, you know, some of us are dinosaurs and been in the business for a long time. We already did an exercise to see who the dinosaurs were. Just a tidbit for you, they're sitting here, just right here in the front row. That's their T-Rex and all the rest of them right here. But they're doing wonderful things, but learning to do and use those tools is somewhat a little bit overwhelming for a lot of agents that might have been in the industry for 20 years. For you, Glenn or Barry, what kind of strategies, tips can you give us to not be so overwhelmed when we embrace technology? Glenn, I know you are right into technology, so you might be the wrong person to ask this. Glenn's like, what do you mean? Just do it. But
Yeah, you're not playing with technology? I mean, the one thing I do want to state is that at most, like I hear a lot of times real estate professionals will say, I'm not good with technology, but if you actually examine the tool stack that you use, you're actually a technologist. You're taking digital photos, you're uploading them, you're putting them on the portals, you're building, you know, marketing materials, you're potentially going onto social media, you're posting, you're doing a lot of stuff. And so we're learning it. Some of us are just learning it faster than others. And if you think about it, and this is why I say we need to be marketers. Marketers, and just like, you know, what Barry's talking about, what I'm talking about, but whoever shares an idea first to the marketplace gets credibility in that marketplace. So one of the things I think about is if you're in trying something and you're getting some value out of it, then sharing that value with your community is a form of marketing, and it's a form of marketing that works really well because people look for thought leaders more so than they do, obviously, followers and leaders. So what I would just say is, even if you're learning, if you're vulnerable and share what you're learning with your marketplace, they will again still follow you because a lot of them are struggling with the same things, trying to learn a new tool, trying to figure out how to use ChatGPT, how to you take the best photos of their property. Maybe they're thinking about selling it for sale by owner, and you start to share tips and ideas of things you found about how to take photos of properties to get them displayed. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do, but a lot of it comes from just being vulnerable and trying things and then sharing what you're learning in real time with your tribe, with your community. So that's a, you know, and that's just been how I've been wired. So I guess I am the wrong person because I don't even know how to think.
you're the awesome person. You're the awesome person because I said you're the awesome person to explain it because you have pioneered it. You went ahead of a lot of people doing things that other people thought that's crazy, that'll never work. And you weren't afraid to be thought of as crazy, and then everyone was like, oh, actually that does work, let me copycat that, which I think is what you're talking about. First to market wins, and the rest just look like pretenders. So that's really good. We've got about 3 minutes left, and I do appreciate the fact that Barry's coming to us, and it is now almost 11 p.m. where Barry is, and I'm assuming, Glenn, you're on the West Coast, so you are right about 8 o'clock, somewhere in there.
Yep.
Yep, perfect. Barry, any final thoughts that you would give to an agent that you were coaching just to go from one level to the next in their performance?
I think I hit the nail on the head, to be honest. Well, one or two things here. One is you can always do it alone. It's the beauty of this industry. You can be successful however you want to do it. A, I don't think it's quite as fun doing it by yourself. And B, when we talk about being overwhelmed by technology or even just the industry overwhelming us, do it with someone else. Seek mentorship, seek support, seek partnership, whatever that looks like for you. You can do it alone, but at the end of the day, being a solo hero isn't nearly as fun or as productive as doing it with others. And then I think the other thing is exactly like Ben was saying as well. with being the first to market, with being a pioneer, just remind yourself why you got into property and why you got into estate agency and real estate in the first place. If it was to help people, if you have a passion for the industry, look at, if the shoe's on the other foot, look in the mirror. Are you not doing someone a disservice if you're not marketing yourself and they use a different agent than yourself? You're doing them a disservice. So just remind yourself why you got into the industry. Don't be afraid to fail forward, but remind yourself, if you don't put yourself out there, they're going to use someone else. And if you know you're very good at what you do, you're doing a disservice.
Awesome, awesome. Glenn, just a little bit of a final thought. You were a web designer that became a real estate agent that had bricks and mortar offices. You started EXP with 20, 30, 40 agents maybe. And now you have a company in 25 countries with over 80,000 agents collaborating. In one sentence, can you tell us the characteristic that you've had to develop to do that big dream and goal?
I think Jim Collins writes about in his latest book, the 20-mile march. And what that basically means is don't try to do too much too fast. Do it in sort of progressive steps, and don't let it overwhelm you. Like the reality is I didn't know where we were, like how big this was going to be or what it was going to do. But I showed up every day and built what was right in front of me and didn't, there were days when I worked my ass off, don't get me wrong, lots of them. But I didn't really sort of think about it in the size it became. I thought about it in the context of where we were at the time. And by just staying sort of, in the mix, working on the business every day, working in the business every day, one of my old coaches said the difference between a white belt and a black belt is a black belt shows up to every practice, and the key is if you want to grow a real estate practice, whatever size you want to grow it to, but if you want to grow one, just show up every day and work on your business a little bit every day, and you can't help but over time become successful.
That's fantastic. Glenn, Barry, thank you for taking time out of your evenings, your nights to spend with us. And from Perth, Western Australia, thank you and goodbye.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everyone.